For the fourth time in Australia Cup history, it's Brisbane Roar against the competition's two-time winners, Sydney FC. And the home side will be looking to turn the tables from their last meeting when it was Sydney who lifted the trophy in that 2023 final. Good evening and welcome here to Spencer Park. We're on Yuggera and Turrbal country in Brisbane for this All A-League affair between last season's grand finalists, Sydney FC and Brisbane Roar. And they finished second bottom after a really bright start to the season. And it was a rebuild last season under Michael Valkanis, which did start with a lot of promise for Brisbane Roar. His mission was to bring the Roar back into Brisbane. And after just one loss from their first 8 matches in the A-League, they seem to be firmly on track. But after the turn of the year, that momentum disappeared. They tumbled from the top 3 to second bottom. And following 18 off-season departures, Michael Valkanis is now overseeing another significant rebuild. While their opponents tonight, Sydney FC under Patrick Kisnorbo, who only took charge in April and then went on to lead the Sky Blues into an unlikely grand final berth. He is a serial winner, and the last time he coached in the Australia Cup, he guided Melbourne victory all the way to the decider, where they were upset by Macarthur FC. So with Sydney, there is no doubt he'll be looking to go one step further, especially when you add the disappointment of the grand final against Auckland, beaten 1-0 in New Zealand. And we're just awaiting the arrival of both sides into a packed Spencer Park. 4,000 in the house for this one tonight. And I mentioned before, the 4th meeting of these two sides. It is the 13th edition of the Cup. And last night, we saw victory in Western Sydney. They met for the first time in the Australia Cup, but these two, the way the draw has panned out, have already met 3 previous times. And Sydney with the ledger in their favour, 2-1. But it's very tight historically. In the A-League, they're 21 apiece with 20 draws. Some familiar faces in that Sydney lineup as we get the team news for the home team. Only one change for Michael Valkanis' side after their 3-0 win over Sydney Olympic. So Archie Mitchell drops back to the bench with South Korean international Nam Tae-hee coming into the starting side. New faces Jacob Nasso, Savit Ngor and Marco Ilic are all in the starting 11. Two changes for Sydney after that 5-1 win over Bayswater. So Takahiro Sakine comes in for Akol Akon after scoring last week against Tottenham Hotspur. And Joe Lacey replaces Wataru Kamijo in midfield. He drops to the bench. Jake Holman on the bench. So too Al Hassan Toure. Toure, their leading goal scorer across all competitions last year with 6. Here's Nam Tae-hee, who played against Australia in the 2015 Asian Cup final. Actually scored in that tournament in Canberra against Q8. Tom Fell, referee in charge of this one. Previous winner of the Mark Shield medal as Football Queensland's senior referee of the year. Dean Bozanis, the captain of Brisbane Roar. Ryan Grant, Mr. Sydney FC. The armband for the Sky Blues. Well, there's Michael Valkanis. It's crunch time this season. And you can see James Gow, the new sporting director, with the beard just to Valkanis' right. He's been heavily involved with the recruitment this season. And Patrick Kisnorbo took over in April. Took over his first match for Sydney actually against Brisbane Roar, and it was a 0-0 draw. And I think a lot of people may have forgotten that match because it was on a Thursday night and it was a match of very limited opportunities. But that's what's so intriguing about tonight. How are these two sides going to attack the new season? How are they going to play in season 26-27? The Den in the house as well. We're all set to go. Second match in the round of 16 of the Australia Cup. And these clubs, well, they last met in the Cup in the 2023 final. Plenty has changed since that night. And now in their fourth meeting in the competition, will it be Brisbane Roar or Sydney FC who booked their spot in the quarterfinals? And it's a very good evening to former Brisbane Roar man, Mariner, Newcastle Jet, Roy O'Donovan. Roy, good to have you here.
Benny, thanks for having me. Excited for this one. It promises to be a great cup game, but both teams will be feeling each other out leading into the new A-League season, no doubt.
And Brisbane Roar with a really strong set of home fans behind them, desperate to see them succeed. And there's an early shot across the bows from Sydney inside the opening minutes. And Reece Hewley. Bozanis wasting no time, but he's got that straight in front of Garuccio. And now Sakine. This is a bright start from Sydney. Garuccio clipping it up to the back post, and that did not take long at all. Sydney FC inside the opening 90 seconds. And what an introduction to life as a Sky Blue for Takahiro Sakine. He scored against Spurs, and now he's got one against Brisbane Roar.
Well, he started the attack when Bozanis kicked it straight to him. Garuccio with beautiful delivery, and Takahiro Sakine in the great position, centre of the goal, easy as you like. There you go. Welcome to Sydney FC.
My goodness, you could not have asked to a better start to life as a Sky Blue for the Japanese youth international, who was last playing for Urawa in the J-League, been there since 2019. Makes the move across. He's had some career, played in the J-League, the Bundesliga, the Belgian Pro League as well. And it was a lovely finish against Spurs. And that was a neat finish as well. In the box, and now Brisbane, well, they have to attack the game right from the outset.
The difference there with Hoof Slout, he's not messing around. Bozanis is good with his feet, but he gave that straight to Sydney FC there, and didn't they punish him, Benny?
100%. And that's the question this year, isn't it, Roy? How are Brisbane going to play? Been hearing from their perspective that they do want to play a more aggressive, attacking brand of football this year. As we know, last year just didn't quite come to fruition, especially in the latter stages of the season.
Well, you can understand Michael Valkanis coming in and he wants his team to be physical, and you know, the first 7 or 8 games of last year, they definitely had a bit of aggression and a bit of fight. But by the back end of last year, I was really struggling to see what their playing style was. So to see, obviously, wholesale changes, but 18 departures, he's got to be backing himself big time as a coach to be able to bed all these new signings in and get a playing style across to the players and be successful this year. It's a big ask, Benny.
It is. 18, so no fewer than 18 changes from last season, 18 departures at this point. It's almost unheard of. It's quite miraculous. So He's going to have to put together all the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle. And the likes of Tom Aldred, Tate Russell, Joel King. His experienced contingent not available tonight. Tate Russell, of course, having played for Wollongong. He's cup tied, so he can't play. Joel King making the move from Sydney to Brisbane Roar. The ball clipped forward in the direction of Vidic. So those goal scorers for Brisbane in their match in a round of 32 for Michael Valkanis, Vidic, Ngor and Nasso. And they struggled to find that out-and-out goal scorer last year. So top goal scorer across all competitions, Roy. And I had to double-check this. Long, Vidic, Klein with 4. Wow. It's low figures, isn't it?
For a club of the stature of Brisbane Roar, they need better than that. They need someone getting double figures, and I feel like they'll still be in the marketplace. But I must say, I do like Justin Vidic. I think he's a presence. I think he's got the ability to score a lot of goals if given a run of games. I thought obviously Long played a lot last year. Michael Roos had a lot of game time. But I think if Vidic gets a run of games, I do fancy his chances of, you know, being their main number 9.
He's shown glimpses, hasn't he? His time at Newcastle and also at Brisbane, especially in the cup competition. Just looking to turn that into goal scoring at the A-League level. There's an opportunity for Brisbane. A little bit of frustration there from Kisnorbo. Well, last night we saw Melbourne victory. First side through to the last 8 of the Australia Cup with that penalty shootout win against Western Sydney Wanderers. Thanks to Jack Duncan. Caruccio. And now Sakine. And one benefit that a couple of these recruits here, Lawton, see they're ironed out here. He is flat on his back. I hope he's okay. He's not moving. Immediately they're calling for attention. Now, trainer is quickly out. Just have a look. Oh. It looks like a shoulder from Courtney Perkins.
Yeah, he's looked like he left a little bit. He's coming at the wrong angle, and he's caught Jordan Lawton a beauty there on the chin. So not sure he's meant it, like, but Jesus, it looked nasty.
He hit the deck very quickly. Courtney Perkins is coming across here to have a chat to the referee. Jordan Courtney Perkins at his old home ground, came through the youth ranks at Brisbane City at Spencer Park. Now Maroney as well. From a Brisbane perspective, played his youth football with City. And Michael Valkanis is asking why there's no further punishment here. Oh, it has to be a yellow card, doesn't it, Roy?
Well, it's a yellow card every day of the week and twice on Sunday, but the referee's in a great position as well. I don't know, is it too soon in the game? Does he feel he's going to upset the rhythm? But yeah, he's got off at one there, Courtney Perkins.
So Nam Tehi with a dangerous delivery. Now hung up by Ngor towards Billity. And Hoofslout will look to reload here for Sydney. If you missed the news in the off-season, Harrison Devonish-Mears had a rib removed, a bit of swelling on his arm, and had an issue with the rib that was causing a problem, so he had that removed and will be back in full training soon. We heard him last week at the Sydney Super Cup. He was pretty disappointed he didn't get to take on Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, such a shame. What a great end of last season he had. Unfortunately, for Newcastle Jets supporters in that semi-final, he was unbelievable. He was the difference between the two sides in the end. But I hope he gets well soon. A good chance, though, for Hoofslout to get his opportunity.
Hoofslout, he's been sharp when he's been given his opportunities. Oh, Courtney Perkins is in the thick of things again here this time. Will he go into the book? It would seem so. Again, up against Lawton.
Poor Lawton. What's he done to Courtney Perkins? I like that, though. Neor straight in to support his teammate. That's what you want to see, a bit of togetherness early on in pre-season.
Does he come in here fired up, Courtney Perkins, because he got away with one a moment ago, and then a matter of minutes later, now he is in the book, which is not great for Sydney. If you want your defenders going into the book so early on in the match. So the set piece across the face of goal. Popovic with the header away. Mayoroni, Brisbane City Junior. A little slip that was caused by Tiago Quintal, hat-trick scorer against Bayswater City. But he's forced his side to defend a free kick here from, well, after last night, we'll call it Nick Milanovic range. Is there a player from Brisbane that can deliver something like that? They haven't got Jay O'Shea anymore. He was one of those departures in the off-season. Namtahi standing over it, former Jeju man. He's clipping it to that back post area. Sydney have done just enough to clear their lines. Oh, it's a real scramble for possession. I tell you what, referee here tonight, Tom Fell, he looks as though he's going to have his hands full, because both of these two sides extremely physical. Oh, have a look at this. Have a look at this. Stajic, he's back after missing most of last season with that hamstring injury, and he's come across and got right in the face of Ryan Grant, who'd just gone into the book. And I tell you what, Stajic will be lucky if he doesn't go into the book after inciting that.
Yeah, well, Ryan Grant has come back as hungry as ever, and every ball that comes into that box, he sees it as his house and he wants to clear it. But Stajic, we missed him for, Brisbane Roar missed him, I should say, missed him for huge parts of last season. But if you remember, this time last year, he was a big part of what made them tick, and that aggression drove his team on. So, look, it's good he's back in the park. They need that. They need an enforcer in there.
Yeah, they really missed the enforcer, as you said, Roy, last season. And Stajic, well, he can have no complaints about the yellow card. Referee given Ryan Grant the yellow card, and then Stajic has come in and started a little bit of push and shove. So he goes into the book. I'll tell you what, Roy, get your popcorn out. They look to be right up for the fight here, these two. So Namtahi to the back post area. Hoofslout with some great flexibility there. Looking to release to Jesus. Canis. Nice turn there from Jacob Nasso. Made the move from the Mariners to Brisbane, as did Sabit Ngor. Marko Ilic as well, new man for Brisbane this season, who made the move from the Bundesliga 3 competition. Brisbane again, some bright moments of late after conceding that first goal. And it was the German in Illich down that left edge. You can see the fans just beyond the fence over there. I think they're the fans that didn't pay to get in. They're, they're
my
watching.
type of people.
I love it. Watching from the walking path just alongside the creek here, Spencer Park. Get a great view from over there. So Quintal. Still going Tiago Quintal. It was excellent work in the end from Brisbane. Lawton and Stajic. The likes of Stajic and Mayoroni, they're going to be the nightclub bouncers, aren't they, for Brisbane Roar and some this season. Remember the likes of Brillante and O'Neill back in the day for Sydney in that wonderful team coached by Graham Arnold. Those were his version of them. I reckon those two are going to try and take it to a new level this time around.
Absolutely, and if that's what Michael Valkanis wants from his team, and he wants structure, well, there's no better defensive midfielders probably in the competition to do that than Stajic. Definitely Mayoroni. The jury is still out to see is he able to do it week in, week out. But obviously they've changed their style now massively, as you touched on. Jay O'Shea being the big loss for them here in the centre midfield. Such a mainstay over the last few years, and obviously he's a different type of player, a ball player, so I'm sure that'll alter their style, Ben, in a huge way.
So if you just joined us here and you go, whoa, what's going on? A goal already. Oh, Takahiro Sakine with the goal inside the opening 2 minutes of this one. Sydney came out all guns blazing and got themselves an early goal. But it's been Brisbane who have posed most of the questions since then. A couple of yellow cards for Sydney FC, Grant and Courtney Perkins. And one for Brisbane in Milorad Stajic. There's DeJesus given a cause to chase here. He's done well against the sideline. Courtney Perkins rewarding the run of Garuccio, and Garuccio's work is going to earn his team a corner.
And good play from Sydney FC. It's the first time in this game, almost 18 minutes in, where they had any sustained type of possession on the football, and they forced the corner. And we know they have the quality, we've seen it already in this game, to hurt Brisbane Roar. So let's see what Brisbane Roar are made of.
So Sakine moving it short for Garuccio. Headed away only as far as Quintal, who has a lash. And Sabitengor was asking for the free kick. Now the referee just going on to have a check of a fallen Brisbane player. Oh, I reckon I know where that's got Marco Illich.
Right in the crown jewels.
The German just taking a couple of moments to get his breath back as Sabitengor, he's a dangerous player, some real pace, and a goal scorer in that win for Brisbane against Sydney Olympic. It took them a little while to finally break down the NPL New South Wales strugglers this season. But once they got one, they quickly got three. That's really well done by DeJesus. Grant. Oh, lovely 1-2 with Quintal. Grant squares it up. Sakina hits the post. Garuccio follows it in. And he was looking for the back heel to a teammate. My goodness, that would have been one of the goals of the tournament so far. That was just magical build-up from Sydney.
Beautiful build-up play. Ryan Grant showing no signs of slowing down with a great forward run. Lovely cut back. And in the end, Garuccio kind of wasted a second opportunity when it came back off the post.
That's a nice release. Brisbane trying to turn things around swiftly. And Gore driving it low. He's saying it came off a Sydney player. Does the referee agree? No, he doesn't. How close was that to being 2-0?
Ryan Grant done everything right, as did Sakina. Very unlucky hitting the inside of the post, and I have to think, you have to admit there, Nior had a case there for a corner kick, but Nior started really well, as is Justin Vidic. Keep your eye out as well from a tactical point of view. Justin Vidic is dropping in, trying to drag defenders with him, and you watch Sabit Nior make that run in behind and use his pace. That'll be a definite tactic tonight to catch Sydney off guard.
So how's the press here from Brisbane? Not executed to perfection because Sydney are off here. Stage having to retreat quickly. Garuccio is very nearly presenting another opportunity. Has that ball gone out? No. Play on here for Sydney. Lacey coming back for Courtney Perkins. One of two changes, Joe Lacey, for Paddy Kisnorbo coming into this one. Replaced Wataru Kamijo. Sakina, the other one, in for Okola Khan. And what an occlusion it looks so far. Sakina scored the first, hit the post. And the first half, well, this first half has flown by here in Queensland. Sydney, not with too many numbers forward. Lacey, and here's Grant. Be a free kick for Sydney FC. Courtney Perkins. Again, it's Garuccio making a terrific forward run. Oh my goodness, Ben Garuccio from the top draw. That is a cup special from a man who has scored some spectacular goals in his career. You can add that one to the real Ben Garuccio.
Well, not much happening here. Jordan Courtney Perkins, a hopeful ball over the top. Garuccio looks up, sees nothing but the net, And what a finish. Maybe not his best of all time, but what a goal all the same.
Well, he won the A-League Men Goal of the Year back in 21-22 when he was at Western United for that scorpion kick against Western Sydney. February 22, that goal, 2022. Well, he's produced another spectacular goal here at Spencer Park to make it 2-0 for Sydney FC. Just a wonderful first-time hit. We saw something special from Nick Milanovic last night. Well, gee, that's another one in the round of 16 of the Australia Cup.
Football, it's a simple game, and when it's done well, it looks ever so simple.
Oh, here could be a problem for Lacey. What does the referee do here? At least a yellow card. And that is out from Tom Fell. So that's another Sydney player into the book here.
He's lucky that's just a yellow, by the way. Oh, he's got nowhere near the ball. He's come in probably, maybe not behind, maybe luckily enough it's to the side, but Jesus. Or geez, I should say, that's a bad one.
I wonder whether he was just saved by the fact it was maybe just on the boot of Valkanis. If it's up any higher on the leg, just from that angle. Hard to tell from that angle, but if he gets him any higher up, well, there is no doubt about it. So Namte here with the free kick, and that one's just over hit.
Yeah, I think you're right, Ben. I think it's more of an energetic tackle. He's trying to make his mark on the game rather than, you know, overly nasty. But it's still, the referee has shown a little bit of, I suppose, benefit of doubt there to him, so he's fortunate.
He's a player looking to find his way, Joe Lacey. Just the one A-League appearance last year. He did score that winner for Sydney against Wrexham in the pre-season last year. But you don't want that to be your claim to fame. Goal in a pre-season match, you want to make your mark in the competition proper. And no doubt, Patrick Kusnorbo has put his faith in him, putting him in the starting side here tonight. Ability under pressure. Bazanis. To be fair to Brisbane, Roy, is it I hope I haven't got this totally wrong, but have they been 2-0 bad in this game?
Not at all, and I don't think Sydney FC have been 2-0 good either. But they've taken their chances very well when they've come along. The first goal, Buzanis kicks it straight to them out of nowhere, and the second goal, if I'm being critical, Buzanis is in no man's land as well when Garuccio hits it, but he's hit it ever so well.
You're sort of in two minds at that point, and you put yourself in that purgatory zone, don't you, where you're too far forward, you're not far enough back, and can have that strike lobbed over your head. Do know he likes to sweep out Dane Bazanis. So Sydney again on the counter-attack. That's the benefit for them. Now with this 2-0 lead, they can afford not to commit as many numbers forward. And then, as Brisbane try and go after this match, well, they can strike on the counter-attack. Grant over the top. And a little nudge in the back maybe for McAllister. Tight angle. And it was closed off by Bazanis. But again, it's one of those nights, Roy, where you just feel like almost every chance Sydney get, they're going to score.
But you'd have to worry for Brisbane Roar in that respect. That one straight ball has beat them a couple of times now. And only for Bazanis there, it was 3-0 and game over.
Yeah, it was on target. You could see there. It was such a tight angle. McAllister did so well. He's a bit of a cup specialist, Matthias McAllister. Scored in the round of 32 last year against Western United, and then again this time around. And there he is, son of Dylan McAllister. Dangerous ball in. Valkanis that looked to get the header away. His dad Dylan played for Gold Coast, Wellington, the Mariners and Melbourne Heart. defensive-looking Michael Valkanis.
Garuccio,
Sakine tiptoeing down the sideline and cutting inside. Oh, I just lost track of it. Just love watching him play. I know it's very early in his Sydney career. He's going to be one to watch this season, Takahiro Sakine. You wonder why, as here's a free kick. Well, Mayoroni's getting himself involved again here with Quintal. Ryan Grant as well. I'll tell you what, Mayoroni getting himself about once again.
Yeah, well, look, nice play, as you said, from Sakine and Quintal. Brisbane Roar, I suppose you could look at it this way. They're a team, they're not going to get bullied this year. That's definitely a game plan, and Mayoroni is front and centre in that. But from a perspective of playing football, they haven't got the ball to Nam Tehi just yet. You know, and you look at Sydney FC with Sakine, whenever time they get the ball, they look like something's going to happen. So that needs to be worked on.
Well, it's Garuccio to that back post area. Dangerous again, and De Jesus puts it over the bar. The whistle had gone, but another chance stacking up for Sydney. Even before the whistle had gone, the set piece looked dangerous, and Brisbane just struggling to deal with it. One back by Courtney Perkins, but a little heavy, and Billity now. So here's the opportunity here for Illich to stretch his legs. Just not on the same page as Lawton. So go the way of Sydney. Throw in with the ball crossing the sideline. I was going to mention before, Roy, that the fact these two key recruits for Sydney and Brisbane in Nam Tehi and Sakine, they've both been playing in Korea and Japan respectively. Sakine playing in that bridging competition between the J-League seasons, the J-League 100-year Vision League, which started 2026, as they will be playing their seasons now in line with Europe and of course Australia as well. As we see, no surprises here. Mayoroni, it was a matter of when he was going to get a yellow card rather than if, and that's come in the first half.
Yeah, it's a sloppy one, though. It's a pretty, for the position he plays and the role he has in this team, that's a wasted yellow card for him now. He has to walk a tightrope for the rest of this game.
So both their holding midfielders, there's probably no surprise there, Roy, that Stiach and Mayoroni both into the book inside the opening half hour. Probably more of a surprise that Sydney, Courtney Perkins, Grant, Lacey all in the book. So 5 yellow cards in the first 33 minutes. Tells you something about this contest.
That's a concern of mine for Brisbane Roar. You make 18 changes in a squad. It's very hard to bed in, even if you do bring the kind of quality that they have brought in. Stage coming back, big tick. Tom Aldred, big tick. Nam Tehi, big tick. But how do you put it all together and make it a team? You look at Sydney FC, okay, they've lost Lolly, O'Con Jr., big losses, but they've just embellished what they already have. It still looks like Sydney FC. Brisbane Roar, for me, looks like it's all changed and they're starting up from fresh. And that can go one or two ways, really, Ben.
That's the thing, you look at this starting side for Brisbane, and there are a number of planks that were there last season, but a number of them were not playing regularly. Here's a turnover, a chance for 3-0. Well, Sydney FC, they are running right in this first half at Spencer Park, and it's the hat-trick hero from the round of 32, Tiago Quintal, who makes it 3-0 amid the boos here in Brisbane.
Valkanis with the hook turn, plays it back to the goalkeeper, Buzanis, again, forces the ball in, loads of time, not much of a press, but what a finish from Tiago Quintal, and that, well and truly, is game, set and match now, because I can't see a way back for Brisbane Roar. They're at 6s and 7s. Their playing style, we touched on it beforehand. If they're going to play up from the back, they need to be so much better than this.
Well, their finishing tonight has been exemplary. And even when they haven't scored, they've pretty much got most of their strikes on target. And Tiago Quintal, who had that breakout season last year, he scored 5 times, played in the Under-20 Asian Cup with the young Socceroos, won that competition, played in the World Cup as well in the Under-20s. He has a goal here in the round of 16, and it could be about to get worse here, because here goes McAllister. Well, can Brisbane Roar stop the bleeding here? And Gore, Lawton. Oh, here we go. This could be a little moment that could spark some tension. Look at Michael Valkanis walking up to the 4th official, Adam Kersey. We know that he had plenty of issues with referees last season in the A-League. I reckon he'd have some issues with the officiating in this one so far. Just on that goal for Quintal, any issue from your perspective with the challenge?
Zero issue. If you're a number 6 and you're on a scan, like you should be, to see where the players are, he had enough space to control or play that ball around the corner. The fact that he lingered on it a half a second too long gave the chance of the press. But I have to say, Tiago Quintal, a young player, when he gets into that position, the composure he showed there just shows you what a bright future he has. That was a terrific finish.
So 8 minutes before half-time. And it's a frustrated Spencer Park. A sold-out Spencer Park watching on here. Brisbane feeling like they haven't got the rub of the green. But Sydney have just been far too clinical. And we've said it time and time again, Patrick Kisnorbo, he brings a ruthless edge to his sides. Saw what he did last season. Took over a Sydney FC side that was inside the top 6, but they just seemed to stagnate. And he took them all the way to the grand final. Here's a key turnover. Maroney. And then Gore onto the left, drops it off. And that strike is blazed over the bar by the new man, Namtehi.
Positive stuff, though. They're not letting their heads go down. They're trying to play. There's plenty of football left to play. If they get a goal back before half-time, they might feel they give themselves some sort of chance. They'll certainly give the crowd some energy, because right now it feels a little bit flat in Spencer Park.
Well, there's no doubt he's the creator, the replacement, if you like, for Jay O'Shea, who departed in the off-season, the 37-year-old. This will be a free kick for Brisbane. Similar kind of position to one they had a little earlier. But on that occasion, Namtehi did not decide to go direct on goal, look to find a teammate. See how he goes about it this time. They desperately need a goal before half-time. So leaves it for Ngor. And he finds the fence behind the goal. Don't forget as well, we've got Australia Cup action coming up after this one as well. Fremantle City taking on South Melbourne. You can see that on the Football Australia YouTube channel. And then Tuesday and Wednesday night, we've got some more Australia Cup clashes here on Paramount Plus. SD Raiders and Macarthur, the local derby in back-to-back years. And then Sydney United and Apia Leichhardt, a heavyweight battle on Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, I should say. Also on Tuesday, the Asian Champions League qualifying match. Come back to that here. Lawton, nice back heel, and batted away by Hoofslout. And that's as close as Brisbane have come to scoring here tonight. And they may come back here with a vengeance. Cleared away by Sakine. So I'll just reiterate, Tuesday night, 7:25 p.m. in that Asian Champions League qualifier. Adelaide United taking on Kongan Hanoi at Coopers Stadium. So they win Adelaide United, they play in the AFC Champions League Elite. They lose, they play in the Champions League 2 competition. Victory playing in the Champions League 2 this year. And Newcastle Jets in the Champions League Elite. Grant searching ball up the line. So halftime show coming up very, very soon. Tara Rushton, Alex Brosk and Roy O'Donovan. Looking forward to seeing what Broski's got to say at halftime. I'm sure he will be beaming.
The cat who got the cream comes to mind.
Well, you just wonder this year. The heavyweights in the Isuzu Ute A-League, they are seemingly flexing their muscle so far in the Cup competition. Melbourne Victoria through to the last 8. Sydney a step closer. Melbourne City are looking good this year as well. All 3 of them weren't able to progress past the quarterfinals last year. Brisbane will want to have something to say about that, as this chance is just spurned once again. Oh, here we go. Vidic has fired up after he pushed that one wide of goal. Looked almost pluck Courtney Perkins off the floor there.
Must say I've enjoyed this. Proper cup tie.
I think it was Courtney Perkins. Here we go. Well, no, it's Garuccio who slides in here. And Lacey was involved there. So corner kick curled in. Hoofslout, well, that was not convincing at all. Did drop quite rapidly on him. Poor from Brisbane. Sakine. He's off for the prize. Garuccio is herring down the middle. He's already scored 1, Pen Garuccio. And Lawton puts that run to a stop initially. But here comes Sydney once again. And that's where Brisbane are going to be constantly challenged in this game as they chase it and they push forward. And Sydney are dangerous on the counter. Now it's Brisbane's chance on the counter-attack with Sabit and Gore. Nasso. Vidic tried to help it on towards Illich. Maroney. Nice touch from Lawton. Plays the 1-2. Down he goes in the box, and referee says just a corner.
A lot more positive from Brisbane Roar though this last 5 or 6 minutes. Forward runs, forward passing, just a bit more, you know, ambition. As I said, a goal before half-time here will change the complex of it.
So some targets here for the corner. Likes of Vidic in there. Now scooped across. Ability with the lash at goal. So a couple of minutes of additional time. Sydney with this 3-0 lead. Sakina, Garuccio, Quintal, the goal scorers for the Sky Blues. Vidic hold up the ball, deflection, Lawton! Just what Brisbane required in stoppage time in the first half. They have one back, and they have hope here at Spencer Park.
Well, that changes the half-time team talk a little bit from Michael Valkanis. Again, positive football. Namtehi drove in, plays a nice ball into Vidic, held it up well. Ball comes back, a little bit of pinball, and it drops to Jordan Lawton, and he took it ever so well. He's been kicked from pillar to post in this game, but he's got himself on the score sheet.
Well, that he has. He's had to soak up a lot of heavy contact in this match. And now all of a sudden Brisbane, going into the break, they will feel a lot better about things. Maybe they'd like another few minutes, because with that adrenaline coursing through them, they'll have to go and sit down for 15 minutes. But they will believe here. Maybe there's another chance here brewing before half-time. Who was that off last? It would seem Brisbane. And that should be it for the first half. A sold-out Spencer Park has watched an impressive first half display from Sydney FC. Really clinical finishing from the Sky Blues, but Michael Valkanis' side, they found a goal through Jordan Lawton right on the stroke of half-time. And that leaves this match well poised heading into the second half. Look at this. There's still some afters. Lawton v Garuccio as they head down the tunnel. Oh, there's more to come here from Spencer Park. Half-time, Brisbane Roar 1, Sydney FC 3.
What are you doing?
We're planking.
It's because of our internet providers.
We're stuck in 2011.
Same slow internet speeds.
And high prices.
It's like a nightmare.
Enough planking. Superloop is a network purpose-built for the super-fast future of the internet. You are free.
Don't take it lying down, Australia. Refresh your internet.
Well, welcome back to Spencer Park. Covered in darkness now, as Brisbane Roar look to force this match into potentially extra time, maybe win it. That would be quite remarkable if they could bridge what was a 3-goal deficit. It's now just 2 after that Jordan Lawton goal right on the stroke of half-time. There is the one change for Sydney to begin this second half. Little false start. We're underway now. So Takahiro Sekine, who scored their opening goal, hit the post in the first half. He's been replaced by Wataru Kamijo, who's actually Sydney Academy product with some Japanese heritage. Japanese father, Korean mother, and he actually started in that match against Bayswater City. Comes off the bench here today, Roy. I just wonder, is that potentially an injury for Sekine, or is Paddy Casnovo just looking after him?
Well, you'd imagine it's an injury. He was bossing the first half there. So, yeah, I can't imagine it being tactical, the 3-1 up. But Kamijo, a really good one we saw last year, really solid player since he's come in the first team. Very sensible guy, very solid pro. So, yeah, not a bad change to have up your sleeve.
So, Brisbane went into the sheds with all that momentum after the Lawton goal, and yes, they needed a goal, but also, Roy, feel like a tough time to score it because they had all that momentum, they had all that adrenaline coursing through their body, and now they've had 15 minutes to sit down. No doubt Michael Valkanis would have kept them fired up, but it's always tough after scoring to then go and sit down.
Yeah, you're right. They seem to be in the ascendancy, but they haven't started too bad here so far. Let's watch this.
I want to carry it through into this second half and push forward Brisbane. This is Quintal, who scored Sydney's third goal. And now to Jesus. So a couple of Australia Cup matches for you to enjoy tonight on the Football Australia page straight after this one. South Melbourne hosting Fremantle City. Wonderful opportunity for South Melbourne to go through to the last 8 after knocking out Adelaide in the round of 32.
And Michael Valkanis hasn't changed anything either at half-time, which says to me he was obviously pretty happy with how his team finished in that first half, and he'll be expecting more of the same in the second half. Sydney FC were clinical though, Ben, in that first half.
Yeah, that was the difference, and Tom Aldred said the same thing at half-time. He said it didn't feel like it was a 3-1 game. Sydney just took their chances. Can Brisbane do likewise in the second half? Here's a corner. Excellent work from Vidic. We're looking to get on the end of this.
Nice ball in behind, really good movement, really intelligent movement. Just a bit of a heavy touch got away from him, but wins the corner for his side.
We know, 2-goal scoreline. Dangerous. Sydney have to be aware. Hoof slumped. Brilliant touch around the post to keep Sydney's lead at 2.
Wow. Devon Ishmael's who? That is an unbelievable left hand. What a save by Hoofslout.
And it was Billity that got up. This is handball. Referee says no penalty. Well, Brisbane can't believe it. I'd love to see this on replay. There was a clear handball. There was no doubt about that. It just depends whether. It was deemed by the referee to be in that unnatural position. Michael Valkanis.
He really enjoys referees, Michael Valkanis.
They're his favourite people. Oh, look at this, Vidic v Popovic. Have a look at a bit of this. Billity just getting in between. That was Billity who created that chance a moment ago. Gore, the ball across. And the clearance from Sydney FC. So they are under some serious pressure here, the Sky Blues. But Brisbane, they must keep the back door shut as well, because we know if they commit numbers forward, Sydney have the pace up top to punish them. Hoofslat comes out and claims. So how big a moment will that be? That save just before the 50th minute.
It was a great set piece and actually a very clean header. Even you look at Billity's reaction here. He can't believe that the goalkeeper has got that round the post. Defied the laws of physics there.
You can hear Patrick Kisnorbo barking instructions, loves that on the sideline. Involved in every moment with his side. There he is, on the edge of his technical area. Illich. Hasn't stood out the German, but he's been solid, hasn't he, for Brisbane?
He has. Well, look, when he's been in the game, with a couple of combinations with Lawton in the first half, he looked like he's got a bit. But you can hear, as you said, Kisnorbo shouting from the sidelines, because he knows it'll be very dangerous for Sydney FC now to rest on their laurels and just sit back and hope that all this energy that Brisbane Roar are bringing early on in the second half will just dissipate and go away. It won't. So they need to kind of carry on playing their football and try and force the issue and get a fourth goal if they can.
A couple of A-League premierships as a coach. A couple of championships as well. One in the A-League men's, one in the A-League women's. But right now his side is under pressure as Brisbane push forward. And that last pass just not coming to fruition as Jacob Nasso pushed forward. He loves to get forward, doesn't he? The fullback.
Well, it's lovely build-up play, lovely link-up from Nasso all the way through, and Vidic with the heavy pass at the end.
And again, Sydney just inviting pressure here. Hasn't this match swung around? Well, Michael Valkanis, he wants his side to show fight. Well, this is a wonderful opportunity. Hamte here with a cross, sits up at that back post, and Gore there with Billity. And the header. Again, claimed by Hoofslat, who's had a lot of work to do in this second half. Goalkeeper with Dutch heritage. His parents are both Dutch. And he's come through the academy with Sydney after playing his youth football with Helensburgh. He's a man who spent some time in Europe as well, in Bazanis. It's within Gore, now Sydney. One goal and it shifts the dial once again back in their favour as McAllister has his shot blocked. Illich makes up for what initially looked to be an errant pass. Maroney. And Illich. Space to work in here. The German. And that pass is a poor one. Really disappointing. Mentioned before, he played in the Bundesliga 3 last season with Novelza. He was actually playing in the division below that, the Region Liga in Germany. He actually scored 18 goals in 30 matches, so that's basically 4th division in Germany. I wonder how that lines up with the A-League. I think a lot of good judges have said they feel like A-League standard is above that. So it'll be intriguing to see how he performs down under. As he apologises here to the assistant referee. He's sconed there.
Michael Valkanis won't like that. But look, he looks like he's got something about him. Look, I think the way A-League budgets have gone as well, Ben, they have to look in different places. They don't have the array of riches they used to have, so they're just hoping that they find a diamond in the rough somewhere.
They've somehow managed to pass through there for Quintal. Ability lashed it away. The issue for Brisbane is they can huff and puff, but they need a goal, and they need one soon. As Ryan Grant throwing himself forward, flag comes up. As they're running out of time. 34 minutes remaining. It will move quickly for that man's side, considering they are behind. Adam Kersey. He must be loving life on the sideline as the 4th official tonight. This is a little flick that favours Brisbane, and the goal scorer Lawton. There's Vidic ahead of him. Uses Ilic. So some targets here for Ilic, and that will bring a whistle.
This is what they don't need. That's such a sloppy area to give away a free kick now. Just doesn't need to leave his leg hanging there like that. Ryan Grant has it under control. But from an attacking point of view, good play by Ilic, and a dangerous position now to defend a set piece for Sydney FC.
Well, we know Valkanis, he's dangerous from set pieces, scored last season in the A-League from a set piece. Amtahi, he put it on the spot. Good area. Hoofslout has to punch it away on the dive. Forward in the direction of Vidic. Stiach and Mayoroni. And Gore pushes that out in front. This will bring a Brisbane corner. Jacob Nasso making himself busy. Ilic with the strike. Blocked by Sydney, tries to have another go. And Ryan Grant pokes it into vacant pastures, but they're really being hemmed in here, the Sky Blues. Cut out initially by Yuli. And Tahi, the 54-time career Republic international. Maybe the national side between 2011 and 2022. I mentioned in the first half he was part of that Asian Cup side in 2015 that played against the Socceroos in the final. Speaking of Asian competitions, Adelaide United in the Champions League qualifiers on Tuesday night. Here's a strike which Wolfslout has got a touch on it. Looked as though it was going over the bar. And he did feel like it may have been dropping.
Well, nice positive play from their new signing, and Nam Tahian got the crowd off their feet, and I think he has to tip that over. He can't take any chances, and every other decision and save he's made tonight has been top class. So yeah, he done the right thing there for me.
Corner comes in. Vidic in there. Attempted spectacular. And there's another one. It goes across the face of goal. And it looks as though there's a change on the way. Marko Ilic is just coming for a drink of water. So Sydney's leading goal scorer across all competitions last year, Al Hassan Toure, made his Socceroos debut in November last year against Venezuela. A bit of an injury interrupted final series. He had that hamstring injury which kept him out of the knockout matches. So he comes on. Lacey and DeJesus replaced. And Brisbane, they're going to have to be on red alert, especially the fast break. Toure could be the man that seals Sydney's place in the quarterfinal if they can get another one. That's the risk that Brisbane have got to take when they are pushing forward, but they have to be very wary. And Holman comes on for Lacey, which I have a feeling. So Lacey comes off Holman. You can see Jake Holman making his first appearance for Sydney. And here's a former Sydney man in Amanatitis who missed the entirety of last season with that quad issue he suffered while he was playing with the young Socceroos before their World Cup. He comes into the game for Milorad Stajic. And Jake Holman, injury interrupted season with Walsall in England. So wonderful to see him back playing football. A really bad hamstring injury. So he's going to add some class here for Paddy Kisnorbo's side. Toure with a couple of step overs. He gets his boot in.
Well, Toure coming on for Sydney FC is a substitution, I feel like, in a positive direction, because they need to start trying to pin Brisbane back. Brisbane are getting lots of territory, getting lots of shots, and Brisbane haven't thrown a punch or Sydney FC rather haven't thrown a punch in quite a while. So that's definitely a positive change from Paddy Kisnorbo. But equally, Amanatidis coming on for Brisbane Roar has got some serious pace as well. So if they can get him in behind, he'll cause all sorts of trouble for the Sydney FC backline.
Adelaide junior Amanatidis, who was with Sydney from 2023 to 25, made his A-League debut with the Sky Blues in December of 2023. So great to see him back playing football after not playing in the A-League last season with that quad problem. There's a pass across the face of an empty goal, which draws some groans around Spencer Park. Look at Michael Valkanis. He's stalking that touchline. Just feels an opportunity here for Brisbane. Here goes Holman. Oh. A little bit of rustiness for Jake Holman. So his last football, Walsall played 38 minutes back in January in the AFL Trophy. 8 appearances last year for Walsall, 3 in League 2, 4 in the AFL Trophy and 1 in the AFL Cup. So A really challenging season for a promising young player. He's had some real injury and illness setbacks in his career. Remember, he had glandular fever about 4 years ago. Just a chunk of the season as well for MacArthur. Still only 24 years of age, so he's got plenty of years left in his career. Lawton. Courtney Perkins is first there. And Sydney are off. Al Hassan Toure making this dangerous run at the back post, and in the end the delivery was just too much for him. You just wonder, Roy, at this stage, what's going on there? There's no fans in that area of the field. It looks as though someone's thrown a couple of flares over the fence, so they might have to get seen to. Dimitri Valkanis as well is in need of some treatment here. Experienced defender. They haven't got a whole lot of experience on the bench, especially from a defensive perspective, Roy. So this is a concern.
That's a major concern, I think. Obviously, Valkanis and Ability are your bit of experience back there, obviously alongside Dean Bouzanis. But I reckon if he comes off with his hamstring problem here, they're going to have to shuffle the pack. They've already, since they took off Stage, they've moved Nam Tehi into almost like a number 6 position, which is a little bit confusing for your most, you would say, your most attacking threat, that you want to get him on the ball higher up the pitch, but he's certainly linking the play in a deeper area now, so it'll be interesting to see what Valkanis comes up with if his son does come off with an injury here.
So Valkanis looking to run that out. And the big question for a vast swathe of last year for Brisbane was, where's the goal scoring threat coming from? Where are the goals coming from? They lost Long to injury, D'Agostino to injury after D'Agostino arrived at the club late in the season. And once again, that's the question here tonight. Lawton with the goal at the end of that first half. Where are they getting a second from? Whoa! There's the answer. And it's Alexander Popovich who has gifted Brisbane Roar a lifeline here in the second half. Have you seen anything like that, Roy O'Donovan?
Well, that was a speculative cross, to say the very least. Popovich, he was in total control. It's a bit of a brain fade, and that's the only thing he was going to beat Hoof slow tonight, unfortunately. But a big issue there for me, prior to that, Ben, a big issue for that is, okay, Popovich has put the ball into the net, but Brisbane Roar, there wasn't many orange shirts in the box. That was their problem last year. They need people, willing runners, trying to get on the end of crosses if they're going to score some goals and do some damage this season.
Well, that's quite a remarkable moment from Alexander Popovich, and all of a sudden here come Brisbane. Tell you what, Roy O'Donovan, you wouldn't have been in the country at that point. I don't know if you've been told about it, but the way that Popovich picked out the corner, it was almost as good an own goal as the one Ben Kanarowski scored about 15 years ago, which was Melbourne Hearts' first in the A-League.
Ben Kantarowski never told me about it. I'm going to have to ask him
Just
now.
ask him about it. You'll give him a laugh, that's for sure. And on that occasion, I think that match ended 1-1. I tell you what, could have a sit. Oh, there is a lot of blood here for Garuccio. What has happened here? There is a lot of blood there. We know that these can bleed rather quickly. My goodness, this is going to take some patchwork here. So Popovic looks like he's going to get ready. Well, he's not going to come on up in the back line. So where's Sydney looking here? Oh, there it is. It's a stud. It's an accidental stud raked across his face there. Total accident. And we know you get a cut anywhere near that eye and it can just bleed profusely.
Yeah, it was a bad knock as well. Hopefully he's okay. He looks like he's up and about, but it's going to take possibly a stitch. Definitely some Vaseline and some tape. Hopefully he's okay. Obviously scored a great goal earlier in the game, but how the energy has changed from late on in the first half to where we are now, Ben.
All right, Brisbane coming to get them. You felt like the match had sort of entered a flatter spot because Brisbane came out to start the second half, had a few chances, really good opportunities, couldn't quite break down Sydney's backline, and you sort of felt at that point maybe this match is going to drift to its conclusion. Sydney hang on for a 3-1 victory, but all of a sudden Popovic's own goal has turned this match.
You would say that Sydney FC at half-time, PK would have told them, right, the next 15-20 minutes Brisbane Roar are coming for you. Weather that storm, we'll win this game. And they've weathered the storm by and large, as much as Brisbane Roar have been coming. But that Popovic goal now has put the cat well and truly amongst the pigeons.
So goal scorer for Brisbane tonight, Geordie Lawton. He comes off. He's going to be replaced by Emin Jurakovic. This was his goal right on the stroke of half-time. Really important one for them heading into the sheds. So Emin Jurakovic has replaced him. The new signing who's joined from Melbourne City. Son, of course, of former Socceroo and former Victory coach Mehmet. And he has played 26 A-League matches, 21 of those last season, 7 starts, so more opportunity for him at the Raw. And Parkin has replaced Valkanis, so an injury for Valkanis. Popovic comes into the game up top for Sydney. I believe that was McAllister replaced up top for Paddy Kisnorbo. Yep, so a straight swap there. Popovic, who scored a couple of goals in 9 appearances last time around for Perth Glory, making the move across to the eastern seaboard. He's a big lad. He will make life very difficult for Brisbane up top. If he gets some service, you wonder whether he will at this point. Question marks about a yellow card here. Yuli is going into the referee's notebook.
Yeah, well, we said Amanatidis had some pace and he's not afraid to use it, which is good to see after such a lengthy layoff. With Sydney FC, big test of their mettle now here.
So Namte here with a set piece. Mention the speed of Amanatidis. You feel like maybe he could be that player to really cause Sydney some headaches. Namte here with a set piece, cut off by Popovic. So almost inside the final 15 minutes. Sydney led 3-0 in the first half of this one. And Brisbane have slowly but surely clawed their way back now within a goal.
Well, what a difference Takahiro Sakina made. You're looking at the way they played in the first half, the way he made things tick. You're thinking of the first goal, the chance he had to hit the post as well. What a difference he's made to the team going forward. This second half, they've been a completely different side.
And you wonder why A-League clubs don't look more to Asia, and especially the J-League Japanese players. We know the amount of quality Japanese recruits we've had in the A-League down the years. One that headed back during the off-season, Kota Mizunuma. He went back to Japan with Urawa, played during the week, straight back into the J-League competition off the bench. So flag up here against Al Hassan Toure. And Tahi. Brisbane early delivery in the path of Vidic, and Gore tracks it down. And Illich just couldn't get the feet sorted. And there's James Gow, the sporting director there. He's making his presence felt on the Brisbane bench. Tahi. Aroni. Illich. And Jurakovic. Able to bring it under control, and Sydney looking for a rare 4-0 forward. They're going to play it backwards and recalibrate. Off slap. Picks out Toure, but it's a heavy touch off the chest. Grant able to earn it back for Sydney. Now Popovic.
Sydney FC trying to get a few passes together, trying to take the sting out of this game, because for the last 10 minutes they've been pretty much camped on the edge of their box, and Brisbane have just been having all the territory and all the football.
Was there enough in that from Popovic? There was, for a free kick Brisbane's way. Officiated this match well, Tom Fell, despite little spot fires he's had to put out along the way. There's been a simmering tension early on, but he was able to calm things down.
Just not enough forward movement from Brisbane Roar. Every time a defender looks up to play a forward pass, everybody's coming towards them. They need to stretch that Sydney back line,
And that's
what they want to do.
It gives you an indication, doesn't it? That long ball forward, just the frustration with exactly what you're saying, Roy. And it was a question I asked right before Brisbane's second. But again, it's still worth asking, because it was a bizarre way to get that second goal. It was a lot down to Sydney's own undoing in that moment. But are they able to break down Sydney with a moment of real quality with the ball, Brisbane? And that was a big question that was posed to them at the back end of last season, where they were just struggling to break sides down. And Sydney with a chance, a 4-2 scoreline. And they'd almost feel like they're in the last 8, but they couldn't make it happen there. Sydney have just got to be careful not to give away set piece down that end of the ground, because we know that's where Brisbane probably will be at their most dangerous. And that pass to Illich, just overhit. Urging his side to push forward. Here comes Vidic. Looking for that central pass, just delayed a little. Sydney able to get numbers back in the box now. And Gore. Mayoroni. Illich. And Tahi returns it to Illich. Spills out for Mayoroni. Young Charlie Parkin, who's come in to the back line for Timmy Valkanis. 17-year-old Grange Thistle youth product. You just wonder, Roy, that attack that they had down the left, did Vidic just delay a little too long?
He did, but the reason he's delaying, and this is a big problem they have and one they need to fix, they do not commit enough bodies into the opposition box. If you want to score goals, you want to win football matches, you got to get people into the box. It's the most important. You can have 1,000 passes, you could be as aggressive and physical as you want, but if you don't get people in behind and force the issue in their box, you're not going to score many goals, man.
And is that a coaching thing from Brisbane, that they don't want to commit those numbers into the box, or why do you think that is?
I really don't know. It's one that they need to work out. I'm not paid to work that out. All I do know is all I can see in front of me. When that ball goes wide, there's not enough bodies in the box. Let's see here.
And they've got a couple in there on this occasion. Vidic one of those. Nasso drops it off for Mayoroni, but the pass was just behind him. And now a stab shot. It's going to be easy pickings for Hoofslout. That has gone high into the night sky. Grant looking it over the top. This is a little challenging for ability. Brisbane Roar fans trying to inspire their side here. Sydney looking comfortable at the moment. Hoofslout. We've had far more entertainment than the last meeting between these two sides. It was a drab 0-0 draw in the A-League. We've had 5 goals here tonight. Is there more here? Looks as though Popovic may have gone into the book. We didn't see the yellow card brandage, but the referee's writing in his notebook. And yeah, I reckon that is a yellow card for Gabriel Popovic. So Reece Ewley seems will be leaving this match. While Tom also is going to come on for Mayoroni. So Ewley the first to leave. Sam Lancaster comes into the game. Came off the bench for Sydney, the 19-year-old against Spurs. And this is Niall Tom. I remembered last season he actually scored on debut against Western Sydney Wanderers in that 2-2 draw. And he is from a Brisbane City man, so he knows every blade of grass here at Spencer Park. And that's how he earned his spot in the Brisbane Roar B team. Niall Tom, after playing well with Brisbane City. Here's a yellow card for Brisbane. With a tug back on Quintal. He will not be getting to his feet in a hurry. Confirmation, Mayoroni off at Niall Tom. It's a good frame to have out there. Vidic, he gets a free kick. This is a good position here for Brisbane. For the moment, it looks as though they were going to take it quickly, but they are going to take their time. This is the kind of situation that Brisbane will be hanging out for. They do take it quickly. Illich is bearing down on goal. And Holman dispossesses him quite easily. Now Ryan Grant. Al Hassan Toure is off. Quintal making the run at the back post to seal it. Bazanis keeps Brisbane alive for the moment. Quintal looking for a brace there that would have pretty much sealed Sydney's passage through to the last 8. So here we go. There's going to be chaos here late on. There's Brisbane throw everything at Sydney FC. And Gore has to be careful. Into the book for that yellow card moments ago. And Sydney with Ryan Grant hitting the deck. They've conceded a free kick just before that. It just feels like, Roy, this is as dangerous as things have been for Brisbane for a while.
Well, he's got great delivery. Nam Tehi's got really good delivery. I was surprised the last set piece they got, they played it short when they've got some big timber. Get it to the back stick, put Sydney under some pressure here.
And that's exactly where they go. Now, who was that off last? It would seem Sydney. So Niall Tom's giving chase. Low delivery. Well, here's a corner. Here we go for Brisbane. Some good targets in there. Niall Tom likes ability as well, who forced a wonderful hoofslat save earlier in this second half. Nasso as well. Vidic. So you can see they're all around the penalty spot right now. They peel off, the header away again from Popovic. Back in towards the mix-up. Holman brings it to ground, but Brisbane have pinched it back. Across to Ngor. And Sydney with some good pressure and able to win a relieving free kick. So in the final 60 seconds of regulation time, how much stoppage time will we get?
Well, if Sydney FC do get over the line, like you just touched on, that save from Hoofslout What a big moment in this game that would have been. We didn't realise it at the time, and even there, Christian Popovic just come on. What a vital header that was from that set piece. That was great delivery from Sabit Noor.
Oh, I tell you what, that board reveal has brought a cheer here from the Brisbane fans. 6 minutes of added time to try and find what they found in the last minute of the first half in stoppage time when Lawton scored Brisbane's opening goal. And they find one in second half stoppage time as well. Toure. And Ryan Grant. Good pressure from Brisbane. This is just lumped into the middle of the pitch. Zanis up in the direction of Tom. Grant again. And now Holman. Nervy moments here for Sydney. Oh, don't you remember, Roy, what happened to Sydney last time they were trying to hang on to a lead in that semi-final against Newcastle? Eli Adams producing that spectacular moment. They won it on penalties in the end, Sydney. Brisbane down the left edge, looking for that cross, and this will be a throw for the Raw. So long throw is the option. Gets plenty of power on it. It bounces luckily into the arms of Hoofslout. Anywhere will do for Sydney at the moment. Controlled by Lancaster. Now Popovic. Is he heading for the corner? Not quite yet. Well, he may have liked to have done that because all of a sudden Brisbane finds some space down the right with Sabit and Gore. Men in the middle. Vidic and Tom. And Gore trying to shift onto the left, but he was just shut down as he just delayed for a moment. Oh, again, here goes Sabit and Gore. Just made that run down the right. He just stopped and propped, allows the delivery. Space here at the back post. And hung up in the direction of Tom. But it just was a little too high there from Illich.
Yeah, again, positive football. They move the ball quickly. It just breaks out here to Illich. You know what he's trying to do. He's trying to hang it to that back stick. It's just that last little bit of quality that they need, that they've been short of in recent seasons.
I feel like if he gets that right, Noel Tom had a wonderful opportunity to make that 3-3. So just over 2 minutes remaining for Brisbane Roar to pull off the comeback from 3-0 down. Kamija going around him in midfield. And Al Hassan Toure has Popovic central. And that will do it. Gabby Popovic with his first goal for Sydney. He says it's all Toure's work. But one thing for sure is that it will seal Sydney's passage through to the last 8 of the Australia Cup.
And when Kamijo picks the ball up, it's a beautiful pass to split the defence. And here's the difference. Alhassan Toure, first time into the mixer, and like any good striker, is right there waiting for his tap-ins. And it looks easier than what it is. That's game, set and match, Sydney FC.
Well, they pushed and they pushed Brisbane, but in the end, it's Sydney who have struck at the other end on the counter. And what a confidence booster that is for Gabriel Popovic. His first goal in Sydney colours. And they are just seconds away now from being confirmed in the last 8 of the Australia Cup. Brisbane Roar fans know where this one's headed.
And what an impact he's made, Gabriel Popovic. Not just that goal, which is obviously vital, but he's worked ever so hard for what he is, a big target man. He's a big frame of a man. He's back helping in his own box. He's in the 6-yard box to finish off chances. He'll have a big impact to play this year, I'm sure.
Well, is there another one here? It's a 4-on-2 here for Sydney. They are queuing up in the middle. Big chance. And Jake Holman spurns it. That would have been a good one to get off his back as well. A first goal for Sydney on club debut. Well, they've been consistent in the Australia Cup, Sydney FC. An 8th quarter-final it would be. They made it to the quarter-finals last year, beaten by Auckland on penalties. And Sydney FC's proud Australia Cup record, it continues through to the quarter-finals for an 8th time in their history. For the 2-time winners, they will have their eyes set on silverware under Paddy Kisnorbo. They raced out to a 3-0 lead in the first half. Brisbane fought valiantly. Scored in stoppage time at the end of the first half through Lawton. And then a Popovic own goal. Threatened to breathe life back into the Brisbane comeback in the second half. But it was Sydney who sealed it through Popovic in stoppage time. It's the Sky Blues through. Full time, Brisbane Roar 2, Sydney FC 4.